The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Hallmark Greatness Pod-Castaway, the show that orders all the potatoes and then quits and it's your fault. I'm Joe, and with me as always, he's dangling a fish over a sad man's window. It's James. And haunted by the ghost of a penny whistle forever, it's Planty.
Haunted by the ghost of Tanya's grandma, who lives with them
Who
at
could
the age
also
of
be her
400.
mum, just in a Norman Bates-style wig. If you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark Greatness gossip, you can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook at Hallmark Greatness. Or if you're maybe looking into hats, email us at hallmarkgreatness@gmail.com.
She was looking at hats. All right, Scylla.
Oh,
This is the last one. This is the last one in a string of 3 recaps. You'll be pleased to know.
Yeah,
this one's going to be very Cynthia heavy. I've got to say.
Episode 19?
19. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sorry, I got confused.
James, that's Cynthia McVeigh, former head of psychology at Glasgow Caledonian University, to the likes of you.
Retired. I know my place.
You scrubs. Yeah. Also, if you remember, she was in the way back machine. Episodes 1 and 2 and 3. She was sort of in them.
She was part of the selection process.
And she did pop over a few times. Because there's a few instances where
we know,
she's kind of interviewed from the book when Mark came over with her. And then later on this, there's a bit where she was there as well. And I think she was the one that had the conversation with Mike about his struggles.
Yeah. So we know she's been involved. I just want to point out this was first broadcast after Christmas, weirdly, Wednesday the 17th of January, 2001.
What?
5 minutes past 9. That's
right.
What it says on Radio Times.
No. Okay, no, that's fine. But
Got no idea why.
But then I'm sure the last episode of Going Home, I'm sure that aired on New Year's Day. So this technically is the wrong way round. But what are you going to do?
I don't know. I mean, you could have been watching Call My Bluff. Gladiator star Omid Jelly, comic Chris Langham, actress Julia McKenzie, and BBC Royal reporter Jenny Bond, guest on The Word Game, hosted by Bob Holders.
Jenny Bond. Those other 3 people, I have no idea.
I'm astonished, but then I realised it was very, very early 2001 that they've referenced Omid Jalili as star of the movie Gladiator. He's in it for about 10 seconds. He's not in it.
Is a stand-up comedian. Star of that episode of Black Books where he tries to pimp out Bill Bailey, Omid Jalili.
Oh, now that's a great episode.
And comic Chris Langham, who we won't mention.
I've just looked up who Chris Langham is, and I do know he looks like a more cursed version of Jeffrey from Rainbow. Yes.
Romans Go Home.
Not right, but
Romans Go Home. Chris Langham, isn't it?
Oh, is he a bad boy?
Just
he is on the sex offenders register. I don't have that open on my computer. I just googled him. And it was the first thing that came up.
Yeah, he's one of the Romans in the Romans Go Home bit on Life of Brian, and he was also in the first series of The Thick of It. He was the minister.
Yes, he was. Oh, yes.
8 o'clock. Just before this, Ready Steady Cook. Boxer Nigel Ben takes on dancer Wayne Sleep.
Oh, wow!
Whoa.
I mean, my money's on Ben. Yeah. But Sleep's got those fast feet, hasn't he? So you don't know.
Roundhouse kick, yeah.
Can we find that one for a couple of weeks from now?
Oh, yes, please. After this, 11:05, All the Rage, second of 3 programs.
Sorry.
All the Rage, a program about anger today. Footballers, pop stars, and celebrities all let rip in public. What are the physical and psychological consequences?
What, farting in public?
Is that not the beginning of 28 Days Later?
This is Cynthia's time to shine. She's there right at the end. She's been on retainer throughout all of this. She popped up a few times. Apparently, her initial role was to spot psychopaths and just drop them on an island. In the last episode, we learned that she dissuaded Trevor and Mike from crashing the... Oh, did we get that? It must have been the one before last. Trevor and Mike, the Lion TV Christmas party.
It's when Mike and Trev went home because because Trev's not dad, but...
he's family friend.
Who fell down the stairs at a Christmas party.
That's right. Yeah,
like the most bizarre setup, but it feels like there should be a joke at the end. There isn't. Yeah, they said don't go to the Lion Christmas party, and I'm assuming because they were all chatting shit about them. Look at these mugs. What we made them do? Think they're going to be famous?
And in episode 5, she, if you're eagle-eyed, you can spot her just before a massive punch-up between Ray and Porrig.
Oh, right.
She was at
She
that.
is it.
I
She
think
is
it was
in there,
Burns
yeah.
night, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
like slightly
Because
after New Year,
they,
innit?
they piped in the haggis.
And it was the potato on the potato
Yes.
meal.
Yeah.
I mean, you can refer to Ray and Porrig by whatever you want, but
Hey.
but I think that's racist.
We get some good Ray stuff.
We do.
We get the
She's
hits.
at it here, by the way, because she says no matter what happened in the show, it couldn't fail. Because you're sat at fucking home, tanked on Bombay Sapphire, whilst they're screaming in each other's faces.
I've done well.
I get paid either way.
Also, at this point, I'm going to end up doing my Mrs. Doubtfire impression at some point. So I'm just putting that out there.
Cynthia says that inequality seems to be ingrained in society. It's Thatcher's Britain again. We learned a lot about reality television, she says, laughing. What, from Big Brother?
Laughing. She went, yeah, not how to do it. This is not how you do it. No, because you have to manufacture your conflicts, but you have to manufacture them over time, not just dump it all literally week 2. Yeah.
She now runs Love Island.
Failures before.
The island, not the show.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right, I could have believed you.
I'd watch a show called Cynthia's Love Island. But it's the doll from Rugrats.
It's all Cynthia's. They love Ireland.
Reference.
Recap of the selection process. We get Lofty Wiseman again.
Oh,
everybody! I thought you'd
he's
like
back
that.
with
My boy's back,
but with some absolute glorious lines.
He's got a 50-50 hit rate, I'd say. And again, as we said last time, a year's a long time. People change, but from where they were to where they are, Lofty. I still stand by it. I'd still buy you a drink.
Yeah, he doesn't like Des. He
wrong.
doesn't think Des is going to be a good choice. He still ends up on the island, so Lofty didn't have veto power, did he?
Well, I think Cynthia and the lady with the cake on her head beat him to it. So.
The woman from the island.
Dr. Roger, he says, he's a bit arrogant. He's pre-selected himself. I think that's bang on, really.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Early Dr. Roger.
Early Dr. Roger. Oh man, is that the new Doctor Who? Dr. Roger. He's just him going around going round.
Early Dr. Roger was always a little bit more prog, wasn't it?
before he fully found his sound. No, but he said he never really got involved and sort of knew he was already going there. And then I think in the last episode as well, they keep using that footage of him going, and I demand trousers.
Yeah.
Too. It's good lines though. That's right.
Oh no, yeah. He's bang on with it.
Other devastating comment about Ron. Sunglasses poser. Didn't see a lot of him, quite honestly.
Yeah, because he was skiving. We know that.
Yeah, he was hiding. He was either hiding in his book, hiding in his tent, reading Kafka, or making angry Geordie homophobes weep near a pond. From what I remember,
He was indeed. There's a really unfortunate bit when Gordon's crawling through the mud. Mind your makeup, Gordon. Lofty. You've lost some points there with me.
No, I think that was just get your head in it, son. I don't think it was meant in a race. I don't.
No, not racist, but I just thought it was kind
homophobic?
of a little bit homophobic. Yeah.
No,
Joe, you need to stop
a man who's been in the
defending
British
this
Army for about
90-year-old
50
man.
years.
This is the hill I choose to die on. I'll be dead.
And covered in your own piss if there's no glacier there. Something, I don't know.
I'm never going to having a mint in Lofty's house.
And Cynthia lectures about how shit people are in groups. Boring. Time for a Trev and Toby segment on community. They've made and printed the Taransay Dictionary of Phrasebook, which they store in the rocks.
The bits. Actually, we put it in there, and the island fills it in via magic. Or something.
That's where Tanya goes to cry.
Is that where Bible is on the island? But they've got props now. Like I said, their work from last Christmas when it was dog shit to now they've got prop work, they've got jingles. Like they've learned their craft. I'm very impressed.
I've put that this has got all the look of a segment where they filmed loads of it and 95% got cut. Like the best 95%.
Yeah.
They do a bit about community, unstable people being thrown together on the island. Yeah, it's good. And we get a recap of the stuff that happened in episode 5 when half the castaways were still in the Harry's Hotel. We get arguments and pod allocation. Oh, control. See? Megalomania.
That is a good... I laughed at that.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
I literally went, that's funny. Yeah.
And Cynthia does a bit of a discourse about leaders emerging.
Yeah.
Who are the leaders?
All your beans on the shelf.
There's a
To
section
leader
where,
beans.
there's a section where they're talking about Peter and they mention about Peter being a leader, and he goes, I don't want to be a leader and lead this shower, and then someone cuts him off, or he's cut off the VT or whatever, and I was
think
like,
the VT cuts off.
that's good.
He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter emerges as a leader because he does the gardening.
Well,
and
also he
knows his
says,
stuff.
doesn't he? He says, I've had 27 years of experience of living in a commune.
Yeah.
So I know that you have to stick to the rules, and people not doing that is counterproductive to it all. You go, well, fair enough, it's right. But I also, isn't the way they're talking about leaders, is that where they're going around and it's extra bits of footage from when they were allocating pods? And I think there's a bit where it's Jules and Julie both want the same room, but they're both pretending to not argue, but you can see it's like they're about 2 seconds from clawing each other's fucking eyes out.
Absolutely.
Got the same name. I mean, it's bound to happen.
Just share a room, innit? Pretend you're one person and really freak people out.
Yeah, one of you sleep at night and one of you sleep during the day. Perfect.
One of you can assault the monk.
The Mad Monk. Yeah. Colin does the butchery, and Des does the fencing and turfing of the pods. Well, one pod.
Yeah, well, half a pod.
One and a half, maybe.
I think they did 1.5.
Right.
But also, when they show like the outside of them, they look ragged. Like I don't think they've like weatherproofed any of that wood or anything. It all just looks knacked. We'll have to ask Des when we get him on.
Is he agreed?
He bought one, didn't he, and put it in his back garden.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man.
Yes.
We need to see if there's like a 4 in a bed of Des going, come and stay in my pod. And then Peter shows up and just starts quoting Dostoevsky at him or something.
And one bloke's furious he can't have eggs how he wants them.
Yeah, and he's just like, there's no plug sockets in here. This is an outrage. How am I going to film my daughter in a towel or whatever?
We've had Kafka and we've had Dostoevsky out of you.
Oh, I brought my brother a Dostoevsky book for his birthday today.
I thought you'd hit your head and woken up some sort of savant.
In a way.
Pat is the diplomat of the group. He's not a leader, he's a diplomat, says Cynthia. He's not the type of leader that you'd want if you had warring factions coming over the hills and you'd want someone to stand at the front and marshal the troops. It's a very specific situation there, Cynthia.
Very much so.
In case all the deer sort of somehow militarize.
Well, that's what Des is scared of, isn't it?
Des is packing constant now. No, but I'm with them on that because he is kind of like a nice granddad, isn't he? Like,
yeah,
Patrick. Yeah. Like he's and I forgot about the episode where they're all in Peter's room and they're all kind of having a go at him, and Patrick kind of loses his rag a bit at him.
Yeah,
and I'd forgotten about that, and I'm like, yeah, I like because again, Pat, like he's a grafter, he gets the job done. But also, he will put dead fish on a fishing pole just to annoy someone else, like
and a child's voice in a box.
Yeah, or make a bomb for a laugh. You know.
I mean, who's to say he's not there when the warring states come at you or something?
You don't know.
Can manufacture a bomb. So
you tell him if there's goths in them trees, Patrick will be over there faster than you can say Milton Keynes Liberal Democrats councillors.
That's a reference to Time Commanders episode. If you go back and listen to it, listeners, gender politics now is great.
Oh,
this
is
cracking.
That the men go out and do things and expect the women to do the kitchen duty, and then we get Ray in a clip saying more or less that.
Yeah, which is what we said at the time, was that Ray sees women as subservient to him. Yeah.
If one of them women in the kitchen had asked me, then I'd have done it, he says.
I don't think you would. I don't think you would.
You would have done. You'd have fobbed him off. Look, I've got to go outside and build the world's shittest meat locker that gets condemned and knocked down.
I built 5 walls here, and they're all going to get condemned.
He built that wall. How many women does it take to put up a fence post? I've started 4 women to put up a fence post.
5, and 1 to do a joke about erections.
Yeah, Tanya to do the and a woman once again makes a great erection. And,
again, that's good. No, I'm for it, and I was well happy with this bit, not because it's Bernard Wright on, but just because they're right. You've got it.
It's
woman's poll, she announces as they put it up, which I liked.
I like how that's the way you went, and all I could think was her bad puns are maybe sexually transmitted from Toby. But
we get Peter, the big misogynist, saying,
that was early on.
Carry on, women. Carry on all day, and we'll see how long it lasts. We'll mix some concrete. He doesn't say women, but he may as well have done.
Yeah, because Peter here as well is like, there's like this
Why
weird
not just
old.
be encouraging? Yeah.
Can you not just go? Yeah, all right, I'll show you how to do it. Do you want to learn? I'll show you.
But I think
Then I don't have to do it. I
Peter
can
and
sit
Ray
inside
got the
in the
worst
warm.
out in one
Equality. Yes.
I can sit inside in the warm, making bread and eating all the meatballs that are in the pan,
the big ones,
the thousands of them that are in there, right? And you can be outside in the cold and wind and rain grafting, like. But
I know what I'd rather do.
Again, it's Peter's Crystal Commune, isn't it? I'm assuming the women are all. I'm assuming it's all based on an old 1970s sci-fi book or something.
But it doesn't help that Ray's like that as well. And I think had that other stupid old bastard that Des nearly murdered.
I'd forgot about that until
I think the three of them would have been a triumvirate.
They didn't show it. They showed him arguing with that woman near a fence.
Yeah.
But they didn't show him threatening an old man near a ravine. And I'd forgotten. I was like, oh yeah, Des used to be a bit of a prick, didn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that.
I think he gets really competitive, and he really wanted to be on the island.
Yeah.
And once he achieves that, then I think he's fine.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there was the bit with the chicken or the thing where they weren't supposed to use fire as well, and Lofty docks them 2 eggs, and then his missus apologized, and he was like, "Takes more to do that."
Yeah,
but no, I like Des now. Yeah,
I think Des is a lot more laid back than he made out in that first.
Yes,
I think he just wanted it so bad. Yeah.
Cynthia also points out that the schoolhouse and the stockroom are all managed by women, although it does have input from men. But in the turn of the stockroom, nobody told Sandy to do that, and she was very bad at it.
Yeah,
it's not.
I'm not being sexist,
not the example.
If a man had done that, it'd have been full of Findus crispy pancakes in a fortnight. It was turkey drummers, right?
There's a bit here where Ray says, I don't know what it's apropos of, but he goes, some of this lot think they're in Bucklins.
Bucklins?
And I didn't realise Bucklins had a K in it.
I wrote Bucklins as well. I was so happy. I've missed Ray so much.
You know he pronounces hospital.
I do it on purpose now to annoy people, yeah.
We get the Ballad of Ray again from episodes 7 and 8, if you want to go back and listen to that. We get a recap of the lads manufacturing a gigantic hay ray, and having a go at it.
Yeah, and Ron still, I forget that Ron goes after Ray, because he's lying on the grass going, I think it's funny and all this stuff. And it's like,
it's a gigantic man pole. It had to be bigger than the woman's pole.
Than the maypole. Yes.
It could well have been. Yeah, they've just never moved
isn't
it.
Yeah. No.
I mean, Ray has no right to have a go at the big man pole, given that no one else has built a condemned bridge.
Oh, what are we keeping in here? Giraffes?
No one else built something so shit that it smashed water pipes.
Philly and Porrig reflecting on Ray leaving as he eventually does.
They
don't seem fussed that he sold the story of them being together. But then again, they are making a big wicker man in his image, so maybe I
understand why they're doing it, because they found out, didn't they, that he hadn't sold his story, he'd sold that story, which is not your story to tell, really.
Yeah.
I'm also sorry, I was laughing then because I was like, do you remember when they kept showing them clips of him just menacingly lurching towards the camera? That was good times.
Roddy Bilber.
It was a good couple of episodes. We get the darkest chapter in all of this, the racism and homophobia incident in the middle of it all. We get a recap of the feud. I'm still so tired of watching Ron slam doors.
Oh, lovely, lovely things. I did miss lovely, lovely things.
Fuck you. I hated that bit. Because then he also does the, well, maybe not everyone on the island. I wouldn't share a kebab with some people. I was like, all right, well, I wouldn't share my kebab with anyone if I really loved them. It's mine. Get your own fucking food.
Joe draws the line when it comes to kebab talk.
Yeah. Well, especially since your brother tried to throw one of my posh forks in the bin that time as well.
Cynthia reveals that one issue with the Careys was that due to their dietary requirements, they were eating more chickens than anyone else.
Yeah,
I didn't know why Cassie was found in the food cupboard with an egg? Is that the reason?
Was she swatting on it, trying to hatch it? Wait, no, fuck. Seventh-day Adventists can eat anything. They're not like kosher or anything, surely.
I'm sure there was some dietary requirements. I'd need to go back to the episode where we discussed it.
There's somewhere on this episode or the last where Gordon says something about not eating pork. He says, I won't eat a pig.
You say, I won't
Right.
raise pigs.
Oh,
he
I won't
says.
raise pigs. Right, okay. And maybe that's it. Maybe they don't touch pork.
But they had lamb.
Mm.
Right, here we go. No, you can't eat pork and shellfish.
All right.
Can't avoid pork and shellfish.
No.
Oh,
No,
no,
sorry,
Ireland, you can't.
You can't avoid them. I'm always
Well-
stuffing some bacon in it into a clam.
I guess they do have a lot of pigs, and if they're excluded from that and it's pig week, then that's going to be
Yeah.
issue,
But then
isn't it?
you just be like, oh, okay, we'll just put some chicken to one side for you, or
And I'm
something.
guessing that they weren't doing that. Is my point. So it is
Well,
discriminating against them.
We're all yes and knowing because we don't know, but was that explained? Did they try and explain that to them, or did they just go, oh, I'll just have a potato on a potato again then?
I'm
I think
just
if you
wondering
explain to people that I can't eat pork, they'd have gone, all right, fair enough, we'll do something else.
I'm going to assume I missed that episode of Great British Bake Off where it was Pig Week.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, Tosh Lines was on it, Bergerac, Juliet Bravo, and Ironside flew in. I built a little ramp.
His hands worked, but it's like, did what?
Right. No,
He's
they
broken.
avoid alcohol. They avoid alcohol, tobacco, and caffeine. Was what I was going to say. But yeah,
And that's the main diet on Taransay.
Caffeine, you say, Joe? Wow, that segues very well into a story about 300 Earl Grey tea bags. Jesus,
almost like we
Christ.
planned it, mate.
So this is from the book Castaway by Mark McCrum. Back in the various homes on the mainland, the other castaways were closing down their old lives and attempted to pack up their new ones. This year's allowance to a single crate. Yes, listeners, I've gone back to the beginning of the book to get stories because there's nothing left at the end. Colin and Julia Corrigan packed loads of fleeces and jumpers, went completely over the top. Every time we went into a shop and we saw a different fleece, we bought it. And then loads of thermal socks and 4 scatter cushions. Everyone laughed about that, but I thought our bed was going to be a sofa in the daytime. I might want to lie on it to read a book, and I'd want to feel that it wasn't in bed. Now, considering what we learned later on about how few clothes they've worn this whole year round,
Yeah.
that ties in. Having finally made his mind up to go, prick Ron Cropsey wanted to make sure he was challenged and stimulated by the year. He was taking watercolours, oils, pastels, a linguaphone course to learn Spanish and French, writing material, pens and paper, and last but not least, pornography.
Chaps in the nude.
There are times, he said frankly, when, as Cynthia Payne says, if the balls are full, the mind's empty. It's why one of my concerns is that I have my own room.
I am shook to my core.
The rest of it doesn't get anywhere close to that, so I'm not even going to get into the fact that Ben's look. The whole point of that was Ben's mum gave him 200 tea bags. There you go. That was it. But
that was the point of the story, was it?
Well, that was the point of the story. But you get
I
to
thought
that,
it was
and
that Cynthia Payne is a pervert.
it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Where the balls are full, the mind is empty.
I mean, he's
Jesus
finally got some common ground with
sounds-
Mike.
Sounds better in the Latin. Yeah, him and different.
That's better in the Latin. What have you become in this episode?
I'm doing Latin on Duolingo. No, it wouldn't have worked with Mike anyway because it's different stimuli, isn't it?
Yeah, but
They could have
same
tried.
roof canopy that they've created.
They could have done
themselves.
half and half, couldn't they? Yeah.
She's got short hair, hasn't she, old Trish?
Anyway, Mike needed to challenge himself this year. Back to Cynthia.
and Rod would have been stimulated.
Back to Cynthia. She says the discrimination comes up somewhere down the line, even if it's inverted. On Taransay, if you don't challenge Gordon because he's black, you're actually discriminating against those who are white on the island. Well, I think it'd be more correct to say that it's still discriminating against Gordon. It's just positive discrimination. It's
Yeah.
still treating him.
I don't think we had that way of thinking back then. I think it was all this kind of stuff was still in its early infancy of not being sarcastic. Like genuinely, I don't think like people were seeing discrimination as a thing that should be called out and stuff back then. They were just like, you know what I mean?
I think you're letting Cynthia off a bit easy. But yeah.
I will fight to the death for Lofty. Cynthia can get in the bin.
She's actually still getting work out of this. Lofty was like, no, I'm done.
I draw a line under it. Like that time I
Non-contactable.
slashed that guy's throat open like a muppet. Yeah.
His landline is dead. When you go to his house, it's just burned to the ground. He's moved on.
He's living underground with the mole people. His only true friends. No, I get what she's saying. And I think, yeah, I think what she thinks she's saying is right, but it's not. Yeah,
It's a bit clunky. Buying shit. Cynthia reveals that she talked to them all about the contraband and everything that they've been ordering. We got that clip again of Mike saying, "Oh, this is regulation size," because he's feeling the end of a parcel full of hot sauce. She says that it's their decision, but it's how it looks on TV. Worried about ratings already, were they?
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
Well, it is and we cut back to the Council of August,
the Pact
was it?
of May.
The Pact of May. Fuck.
The Council of Bastards. Yeah.
And there's so many judicial bodies. Yeah, and they're all and I believe most of those people did stick to it. I mean, like Ben was just getting horny mail constantly, but I don't think they were putting stuff in there. Like,
does Ben gets a card that says Golden Boy or something like that?
Yeah,
and he loves that, doesn't he?
I was going to say, is Horny Mail one of the magazines?
It's Raoul with all my copies of Chaps in the Nude. Yeah. No, but Ben's like, I'm going to reopen these every year and look at them. And I'm like, I bet he's not. I'd like to know if he still has, actually. If he
no, because he must have like rooms full of it. It's like fucking Ringo Starr, isn't it? He's 70 years behind on answering any of the letters.
Even Cynthia does say, like, he furiously tried to answer everyone. And I was like,
thank you for your card. I hung it on my wall.
When you do it with calmly. And it's like, fuck you on all of them.
Dear Marge. Another segment. Isn't Peter a shit? Another difficult characters. Every single episode there's a isn't Peter a shit segment.
Yeah.
Again, I think when Ron left, they're trying to find a new villain. And that's why I think Peter was one of the Taransay 5.
Peter himself thinks that. He thinks that there's a whole storyline where he started out being a bastard and by the end they'd accepted that he was a nice guy. I don't know that it's as cut and dry as that, but she seems to take his side anyway because he's good at farming. Des, she says, Des is a person who, if you give him a job, no matter how awful that job is, he will do it. He will finish it. If you say that to him, those deer are too bold and need to be taught a lesson. He will sort them out.
One of them called your lass ugly. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun?
Who's got the gun? There's a knife. Yeah. Des is able also to sit for 40 hours and make a backgammon board. What is this now?
Hey, it looked smart, that.
It did, yeah.
It looked beautiful. Like, he was linseeding it up and everything. It was beautiful. I think it was to show that he can do big projects and also take his downtime to do a hobby. Like, and again, this is where I was like, I forgot how much Des actually did, like, throughout the entire project. I've only got 250 more of these to put in the ground. Like, and he's just like, yeah, if I don't do it, no one else is going to. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly that.
I also like, is it about this bit as well where we cut back to the giraffe pen?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, go for it anyway.
No, it's just that bit but we get a bit of extra footage of them mucking about while they're putting these posts in the ground, because Ron gets to use the machine.
Oh, yeah, which makes exactly that noise.
Yeah. But he says, but when we've got to do all the coming down and cementing it and stuff, and they're just stood up there watching us. And Mike from Lee, they're just waving at him and stuff. And then they're going, oh, they've done it fucking wrong. And it's like, well, go down and tell them, because they've cemented that post into the ground now.
Yeah.
And now we've got to turn it into a totem pole or whatever it was.
Oh, is this
And they also mentioned
the
that
maypole
people
came from?
No,
maybe.
the maypole looks like it's been stuck through the centre of one of those beer garden tables. The triangle ones that tip up really easy if two people stand up too quick. Yeah.
Action Man Mike gets a bit as well. We see him again get nearly swept away by Poseidon. And then typical Scott finding a caber on Black Pike Beach and heaving it.
Yeah.
That's all what we're about now.
And he goes, oh, this will be a roof joist or something. I was like, fucking hell, mate.
Do you think that's why Mike fed the lamb to Poseidon, so it would stop trying to get him, like with the ocean? Just a theory. On
well,
Neptune,
all I'm saying
whatever
is,
your ancient
when
belief
he came back, winter was over and spring had begun.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It never rained again for another 6 months. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
wherever he walks, flowers would spring.
They say that apparently he has a tough time because all the lads pair off and he's left alone with his thoughts after that. And then we see him having a breakdown, just staring at a mirror. He says people back home won't believe him doing this, getting in touch with his feminine side,
but he's
looking
just
down at a mirror.
He's trying to make his eagle eyes move with the butt at the back of his head.
Ron as well. We get Ron's greatest hits, farting in the VT room. That was his best moment. Throwing an egg at Gordon for assuming that a chicken is heterosexual.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that was the line there is sexuality is fluid, and Gordon turns around and just goes, "Oh, shut up!" Fucking hell.
I mean, he's right in a way because I'm just harvesting eggs. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Because neither the time nor also they're laying eggs. They're all girl chickens. Right?
Yes, yeah.
That's just
They're
science.
throwing a rooster. They're throwing a cockerel.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
because he says
Oh.
something about the biggest
right,
cock, and that's why he's unhappy, isn't he? Oh, this is a lovely big cock for those ladies, or something like that.
Right. Okay, I missed that. Sorry, that's my fault.
It's
I
a
was
bit
obviously-
gauche, but you know.
Ron, a bit gauche.
Ben milks some cows for the first time, and he comes back with it in a bucket sort of thing, and he says, "Oh, well, he's good at that because of his wrists," you know. And
Is this where we
it's
get the Ben Fogel like appreciation 10 minutes?
pretty much because I think what he
That's
says is
what I've
that
written.
I think they're all fairly like tame jokes, but the idea is that he does this constantly. When you don't know him properly, it feels a little bit like bullying. Is one way of putting it. And then we get a whole montage of Ben through the year because he starts out with this whole situation.
We got
People
Cynthia
knowing
going like
rumors about him.
We get Cynthia, don't we? Going like Ben is like
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Is that we get the greatest.
We were
hits of
certain
Ben.
he was going to be the star, and we thought he'd pair off with somebody and all this kind of thing. That's how it looked like.
And we get all
then-
these bits of like, I've got this, and it's proper like sort of 90s Hugh Grant sort of self-deprecating.
Yes.
I'm posh, but
Yeah.
also a bit of a. I don't want to use that word, but
Yeah. And they're trying to get me drunk because I'm very pliable when I'm drunk. I'll agree to anything.
yeah,
I think he
Oh,
was
fuck
drunk about
bollocks.
80% of the time.
Yeah.
Really.
he
See him off his
ages
face.
about 8 years over the course of this year. Like,
And
Yeah, seaweed wine will do that to you.
they do a great job of dressing him up in Pat's postman gear.
for some reason, he brought that with him.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
I don't know why.
Well, he brought
What I
that and he
loved-
got
what I-
that blue blazer that looks like from an 80s TV
Yeah.
show.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why, but I love it. He's like, I'm going to need that in case any post needs emergency delivering to the
In
boss.
case we need to set up our own postal service on the island, yeah. She's expecting big things from Ben. She's worried that he'll have two minders batting fans away from him once the experience is over. So already at this point, people are thinking that Ben's got a future in TV.
Is this
And
where
after
we
that
get the-
Deer fiasco, I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also get the bit that I don't think we've seen before of Ben leaving a meeting and doing a teenage boy. I'm going as he walks.
Oh no, we
off.
had yeah,
No, we do.
we've had
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
because
have
that's
we? Sorry,
part,
sorry,
That's
sorry.
part of the Ron thing. That's where Ron was,
I felt it was a
bullying
Ron.
him.
Yeah.
That was where Ron was bullying him, and they ended up having
But,
a face
I love
off
the
in
fact
Ron's.
that he gets up and he goes, Inca! yeah.
yeah.
I did it in a more heroic way. I'm trying to save face with the Fogel.
Fogel.
Inca's just there in the corner playing cards with the other dogs.
I want to be his minder, batting away fans and getting in water.
Yes. She says she doesn't think she hopes that he's not going to have a minder getting in water off camera. Jesus.
We get the romances as well. She mentions that Trev and Trisha bonded over shared trauma. Again, there's references to stuff that will never see the light of day.
And I've frankly had enough of these two relationships. Like, I feel like it's been nothing but these two relationships for maybe 6 episodes now.
And it's destroying Mike. He's got no one to play with.
Yeah.
He's just there putting shells into a tube while
Making
watching,
sad necklaces.
looking at FHM's High Street Honeys.
We get in the last 2 months an important reveal now from Cynthia. In the last few weeks, people were worried about the increased number of programs. All the ones we've got from November, where there's fuckloads of footage. Cynthia says that all their angst about Line TV is just redirected because they don't want to squabble with each other. Was that all right, Line TV? Slip her an extra 50 quid, why don't you? That was Bob on, that was.
Absolute whitewashing of it, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gaslighting. Yeah.
But the thing with this is, for me, all of these extra episodes, it doesn't matter because it's just all the stuff that's happened already. It's all the stuff that we've seen.
They tap in, like, it's like a Clips episode. There's like 15% new footage, and the rest of it is stuff we've already seen, in it. Like, and we watched them, and there was, like I said, but they'd run out. How have you run out of ideas, or did they just abandon the project but didn't tell people? Like, because it feels like they went, we're not going to film any new stuff from fucking like what, August.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's weird.
only stuff that's new,
Unless it's
is
really
from
important
them.
stuff.
It's from Tanya and
Yeah, so I think
Yeah, I
I think they
guess
just gave up the ghost, realized it wasn't going to be the big rate smash it was.
And then there's
And just
just obviously
did
they
stuff on
come
an
at the
island.
end of the year when they're interviewing, because there's a specific bit where they're interviewing Julia C on the beach. Every
Yeah.
time she's talking, she's got her hair done, she's got her makeup done, she's wearing clean
Yeah.
clothes. So I think that's kind of at the very, very end. So I assume that in the final episode we're going to see some of that stuff.
I also forgot
Hopefully.
when we were talking about the potatoes, all the potatoes that were ordered. If the budget ran out, everyone gets killed.
The Running Man.
No, they have to repay the laird of the
Squid
land.
Game.
Yeah, no, it was over. They never again.
Yeah.
They never mentioned that. That would have added
That
some
would have been good
jeopardy
jeopardy.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the end, and so I think it's time for me to do a big reveal, gentlemen.
No.
I know I promised this off air a couple of
I
weeks
know we don't
ago.
put it on webcam, but
The Taransay 5. It took some digging. I must have read it probably a couple of episodes into having the book. I must have read it and then not committed it to memory, because I've had to grab the book tonight and do a quick skim read of about half of it in an hour, looking for the words Taransay and the number 5. And the Taransay 5.
Taransay V, because
Number 8.
The alien people, the lizard people. The Taransay 5 were 5 people who, quote unquote, according to this, didn't get involved in recording because they weren't happy with the way things were going. So I'm going to let you have a guess as to who these 5 people are, considering there are people that we haven't seen much of.
Yeah.
well, we said last time, didn't we? We said Kira's parents.
Yeah. So
Warren,
Kira's parents,
Monica.
we've got Warren and Monica. Yeah.
Is that you've registered our guess, or is
Yes,
that
I
they were
registered
part
your
of it?
guess. That's
Right.
correct.
All right.
Does Kira count as a person?
No. Yeah.
Right.
Child of Kira, child of Monica.
Child of Kira? What happened on the island?
She's 4 years old. You can't
Cuthbert.
involve her in these things.
Okay.
He's 29 now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We've lived too long.
Right in.
Fucking hell.
Um,
Who else have we not seen a
So
lot
you've got
of?
3 more.
We've not seen a lot of Sandy. I wonder if she's turned halfway through the year.
Incorrect.
Oh,
I think a lot of the Peter stuff is familiar on, but
you guessing, Peter?
no, I'm trying because when did the Taransay? When can we ask questions, my lord?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, Taransay 5
When did the Taransay 5 first for men?
appeared to be
They're,
around about Easter or May Day, that kind of time.
Okay, let's see who.
But again, nothing in the book is
in time
particularly right.
chronological order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of who else it would be, because we've seen everybody. Surely.
I think you're going to be surprised. Bearing in mind, it's people who are not featured, right?
Yeah.
Ron,
Of course, Ron was.
who was in every fucking episode all the time.
Yeah, but I'm assuming he was the fucking ringleader of this.
Yeah. And Colin and Julia Corrigan.
What?
Ah.
That's astonishing, because I feel like
But hang
Colin
on.
and Julia C are huge parts of this and have been since day one.
They're the only
Can I
bits
just
in it that I
clarify
like.
something?
Yes.
Julie C is part of the gang of 5, or what?
Yeah.
I don't know what to call this formation.
The Taransay 5.
So the Taransay 5, so that she wouldn't be shown in so many shots.
Yeah,
and
so
yet
that-
she's got an evil twin sister that never gets any mention, who was not part of this.
Yeah. So Julia Corrigan, Colin Corrigan, again, they're in every bit, aren't they? They're in all the time.
They
Feels
had
like
to
it.
put
But
Colin
I
into it. Because,
feel like there's a period probably in spring where they maybe weren't. Obviously, you've got Ron being
Right.
Ron, but I think you've got a thing leading up to the Ron thing where there doesn't feel like there was a lot of Colin, and there probably
So did they
wasn't
issue a
huge amount of
manifesto,
Julia C.
list of demands?
nothing at all.
Flag.
They just said they weren't happy with how things were going, so they weren't doing. They did have their own flag, apparently.
do we have a
Of course
picture
they
of the
did.
flag?
No,
'Cause
cannot find it
Oh,
anywhere.
I
Cannot
couldn't
find it
find it.
anywhere. But they
I-
had their own flag.
I have been to
Own
the
currency, I'm
darkest-
guessing. Their own munitions from Colin.
They were the only ones that actually knew how to use money that year. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy,
Wow.
isn't it? It just
I am
because
not dead.
absolutely,
I am
Warren and Kira. Yeah, Warren
is
and
the
Monica,
thingy.
absolutely.
Natasha's the one like, oh, I'm going to be really outgoing. I'm going to be on camera all the time. And then in that one episode about hats and nothing else.
I'm shooketh. I'm genuine.
Yeah.
I was thinking that because there's been people who have kind of featured but never featured, but I would never have put those two in it.
Yeah.
There you go.
They were in so much.
Again, yeah.
They were doing fish-based
Not early on.
pranks.
There's so much in this.
When is the
that
fish?
doesn't translate to the show, and so much in the show that this debunks.
Yeah, the timeline doesn't line up properly then at all.
No. So Colin's not in it that much at the start.
No, he isn't.
Julie C is in it a bit, especially talking about Ray.
Could Colin be Benjamin Button and it's reversed his timeline through it? Question mark. No.
That's a question mark.
Yeah, answer me.
Sure, why not?
No, I said before I really loved Colin. And
yeah, but I
still do. I
think they had.
I think Ron led him up a dark path.
Yeah, and then there's a big fallout, isn't there, between them and Ron?
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot of screaming and slamming doors.
Once you've sewn a flag with someone, it's hard to walk away from that kind of commitment, isn't it? Like, I see his point.
I'll be cold in the ground before I recognise Piable or whatever's going on there.
We will call this town New Bibleshire. Is there anything else? But I think, boys and girls, we've got one, maybe two more episodes of this, because there is a going home episode that was before this one, which we've messed up the timeline. That's our fault. And then there is a series of short sort of vignettes.
Yeah.
But one of them is Christmas, and that will be covered because I need to see them eating ham.
I've got a little bit of I've got some little Christmassy bits, just kind of a couple of lines out of the book,
I'm excited.
and a quiz for you, gentlemen.
It's
thought
June
James
and I'm
had a
already
quiz
thinking
as well.
about
Oh,
Christmas.
James has got a quiz as well. Fantastic.
Are we all doing quizzes?
I was going to do bits on. Yeah, I'll turn it into a quiz on what happens next to some of them. This is why I didn't want you to look into it.
I don't want two people quizzing me simultaneously. That feels like good cop, bad cop situation.
Well, if we've got two episodes, I'll throw a quick quiz in, and
I think two. One will be the going home one, and then one will be the vignettes, or just a little wrap up episode of like what we've learned. Yeah, decompress, get it in the water.
What do we do now? I don't know.
What do we do now?
We've got to go back to society like the Islanders.
What? Spike Milligan.
Get it in the water, or I'll kiss your daughter. Drinking from a puddle, giving her a cuddle. Nasty facts.
I often forget I have to press that button to fade out, otherwise it just keeps going for so long because I didn't know how to stop it. So
that's how we're going to end this thing.
And then at one point, it's just me going, lofty facts, because I got bored.
Wasps. 5 to 10 times worse than a bee sting.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting.
I was in a hammock here, and my mate was in a hammock there. Separate hammocks, you see, but same tree. We was all reading, and we use a candle to my side. Any flying thing goes into the candle and drops onto the floor. Whereas if you're reading with a lamplight, they fly into that and then they sting you. Anyway, about 10 o'clock at night, we hear a scream, and my mate said, "I've been bitten." Don't you mean stung? We can't stop laughing, calling him a big Jesse. He's on about moving, and we said, forget it. I don't know why he's turned Yorkshire either. Carried on reading.
Turns out it was a shark that bit him.
Carried on reading, but he wouldn't read. Next night, reading, hornet flew in. I battered it, and where did it land? On my mate. He gets stung here. He gets up and he moves camp. To do that in the jungle at night, I thought that must be pretty painful. We said, what a weakling. And he said, just you wait. Next night, I got stung here on the wrist. And all I can say was, it was excruciating. Like a white hot rivet into my wrist. Big lump under my arm. Couldn't use my arm for a good 36 hours. Needless to say, we moved immediately.
It's big Alan Partridge energy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Needless to say, I was legless.
Needless to say, I was legless and I had the last laugh with white hot rivets in my arm. Wow. I'm sad to see it go, but I'm happy that we've been on this journey. One more, two more, then we're done.
Fantastic.
We can move on to something else. We don't know what.
It's got to be Ready Steady Cook now, isn't it?
There is that Red Dwarf Ready Steady Cook.
Oh, so there is. Yeah.
Probably. All right, we'll do that. Right. And then I actually have got a guest lined up as well, but it's not that exciting. It's not like he's proper famous or anything.
Is it Ben Vogel?
Is it Des Monks?
It's Des Vogel. I've grafted half the DNA from Ben Vogel.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Ron, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have him on. Wouldn't give him the steam off my piss. Anyway.
On the glacier.
Fuck's sake. Right. Your favourite lines from the episode, if there is any.
The woman's pole.
Si pelle plante sunt, mens vacua est.
He did it.
Say well. got wave after wave of British podcasters.